opportunities, assurance, and security in real and digital life, anytime, anywhere. Kaspersky has dedicated 25 years to create a culture of digital protection without boundaries, global intelligence with a local reach, developed by a multinational team with verified technological excellence from all around the world. We are committed to provide trust, safety, and support, and always stay by your side. Because privacy and data security is a birthright of every person in the world. Kaspersky, your protection is our priority for 25 years.
My name is Raju Verranna, and I'm the Presales Manager here at Kaspersky Lab, handling the South Asia region. The topic which I'm going to cover today is basically on the rise of evasive threats and why it is vital to prevent them, and how Kaspersky solution can actually help you to build your expert framework to protect yourself from sophisticated threats. And also, if you have an existing framework, how can our solution help you to enhance that particular framework? So we have been talking the entire day about threats. So what are evasive threats? So evasive threats are not like our commodity threats, which can be easily detected and prevented. So they are very difficult and hard to detect. Since they are quite different, however, there are certain similar aspects when we talk about evasive threats. So let's look at that. For example, when we talk about tools, there are tools which are easily available for cyber criminals to write evasive threats or sophisticated attacks. There is no need today to just type a single line of code, so no expertise is needed. The culture of everything as a service is also driving malware as a service. Evasive threats are hard to detect because they use evasive and obfuscation techniques. And in some cases, we have also seen that system tools are used to launch evasive attacks, which are not detected by your traditional signature-based solution. And that is the reason you need to consider advanced solutions such as behavior analysis. Now, the most dangerous part about this is about evasive threats are that they are prepared totally to basically keep a very low profile, and they have an objective to create chaos, cause reputation loss, and financial loss. So one of the such evasive attacks or the malware or the most famous malware is ransomware. So the stats which you see on the slide is from a test which was done by A/B test, wherein the criteria of the test was to basically detect maximum number of samples. Any changes done by the ransomware should be reverted back, and the threat should be eliminated. So in this test, Kaspersky scored about 100% result, and there was no loss even of a single user data during the test. And we are happy to basically share you the reports. So we have been talking about breaches. So like SolarWinds, Equifax, Colonial US Pipeline, the latest Okta hack attempt. So what is common across all these breaches? So adversaries were able to penetrate these organizations. They were able to gain access, do lateral movement, and stay low for a longer time until they were detected. So the question, definitely the matter of the question is that if there was an earlier detection, the breach must have been avoided. However, there are evidences in some of these cases in this organization where there was an activity earlier on which was not either seen or prioritized, and which led to data breach into this organization. So when we look at the recent cyber threat trends, according to the latest database report by the IBM Security, the average cost of data breach is actually growing twofold. So it was 1.4 million in 2019, which jumped to 3.86 million in 2020, and then further it moved to 4.2 million in 2021. So when I'm talking about the cost of data breach, it includes your damage, your cleanup, your external resources which are involved in this, like the investigators, the incident response team which is involved in this. So attacks are becoming more and more sophisticated. and devastating both in short and long term. They are using elusive and evasive techniques. Lately, we have seen that they are also using administration tools. You need a very robust solution in place which is able to detect such evasive techniques. Now, the bottom line is that you need expertise, and we have been hearing, we had panel discussion throughout the day where people have been talking on the same line. You need expertise to detect these complex incidents and neutralize them. So this is where Kaspersky Expert Security Framework comes into picture. So it is designed in such a way where it helps you in your day-to-day activity of a IT maturity security organization who are dealing with APT, sophisticated attacks, and targeted attacks. So it is an extended detection and response platform with threat intelligence, guided response, and knowledge sharing, empowering and supporting your IT security team. Now, how do we detect, how do we predict such security incidents which are generated by these sophisticated attacks? So, based on our experience and years of learning, we have derived at a 3-pillar approach for a maturity-based cybersecurity approach. One is equip. So, you need to equip your team with the right set of tools so that they can deal with the complex incident and optimize the workloads. You need to be well informed about what's happening around the world in terms of the security incident. And also you can enrich the threat intelligence into your cybersecurity program, which will help your IT security team to manage complex incidents. Apart from this, when we talk about reinforce, as an organization, you should be able to call upon external help for security assessment, immediate support for any kind of cyber incident which needs incident response, or maybe guidance or through managed defense. So this is where the Kaspersky security expert composition comes into picture. So it is derived from the earlier slide. So our solution, when we talk about in the inform section, we have the threat intelligence solution, which can be integrated into your security program, which you can use to stay ahead of the latest potential threat. Also, it gives you an access to the technical, strategical, tactical, and operational intelligence. With cybersecurity program from Kaspersky, you can train your in-house team to upskill their practical skills to handle situations such as digital evidence, detecting and analyzing malicious software, and implementing the best practices in case of there is an incident. On the equip side, we have the Kaspersky anti-targeted attack platform, which is a unified solution which is at EDR at core. So we have been talking about XDR. I mean to see the other panelists, the other solution providers also are talking about the same approach. So the XDR platform is basically it is an extended detection and response platform, which is an all-in-one APT solution empowered by threat intelligence, and it is mapped to the MITRE ATT&CK framework. Now, the potential entry points into your organization, whether it is web, mail, desktop, laptops, servers, or even the servers which are running in the cloud, are all under your control and defense with this solution. And moving towards the reinforce, Kaspersky incident response services actually help you to get immediate support from highly trained cyber skill intrusion analysts and investigators who can work along with you in case if there is a cyber incident and provide you a resolution. You can also leverage a second opinion from a qualified partner like Kaspersky, who can basically, with the help of the cybersecurity experts from Kaspersky, who are working around the clock, help you in monitoring, managing threat hunting, as well as providing you guidance through our managed detection and response services. You can also start testing your preparedness and effectiveness of your cybersecurity infrastructure by using cybersecurity assessment services from Kaspersky, in which we will provide you one compromise audit of your infrastructure, and we will also provide traces of the compromise and provide you guidance and recommendation how to fix those. So, in nutshell, if you look at our stage-by-stage cybersecurity approach, if you are talking about protecting yourself from targeted attacks or evasive threats, this is where expert security comes into play. And with threat intelligence tools like extended detection and response, cybersecurity training, assessment services, you are able to protect yourself from the unknown worlds of the ransomware or the or whatever you call it, or maybe sophisticated attacks. Now, the most important part here is, if you look at the slide here, on the below stage, on the bottom, you can see the security foundation. Now, this is also a very important pillar in an organization. You just cannot go and start building your expert security framework until unless you have a very strong security foundation. Because if you don't have it, you are actually limiting your expert capability. And Kaspersky has solution around this platform as well, where we provide you robust endpoint security product. We provide you hybrid cloud security. An organization who are actually moving towards mature IT security, we have solutions such as Kaspersky Sandbox, the EDR solution, which basically helps you to collect telemetry data, set automated response for it. We also have security awareness solution, which can help you to improve your cybersecurity posture. So, when we are talking about sophisticated attacks on the IT environment, we are talking about everything. But this slide talks about the attacks which have been happening on the critical infrastructure. So, what we are talking about is industrial infrastructure. We are talking about operational technology. So, if you look at this slide, year on year, the attacks have been happening. And these are only some of the news which are available publicly. But I would like to pick up one particular example from this slide to just showcase you how dangerous this cyber attacks can be on your infrastructure. So, Triton, for example, was a malware which used evasive techniques to get into an OT environment. And this was one of those malware which was able to go and compromise the safety instrumented system of an OT environment. Now, in OT world or industrial world, SIS is considered as the last mile of defense. So, if that is compromised, the plant is going to a disaster mode. And that is one of the reasons this actually happened into this virus was first discovered, or malware was first discovered into Saudi Arabia. And it is called as the malicious murderer malware, because in OT, if there's a disaster, it is just not the data, but it is human life at cost. And there are plenty of reasons why it happens. One is that there was always a saying that OT works on a zero gap technology. So there is no relation between IT and OT. However, that gap has been shrinking. The second issue is that there is no visibility in terms of the OT communication. So what is moving laterally within an OT environment, there is no visibility. Or the OT components which are there, they are legacy devices, and they are what vulnerability exists, no visibility is there as well. So this is where Kaspersky Industrial Cybersecurity offer comes into picture. Our product has been designed on the adaptive security architecture, which basically talks about the 4 pillars. So the same 4 pillars which are used in your IT cybersecurity solution, we are talking about the same architecture here as well. So we are talking about predict, prevent, detect, and response. So when we talk about industrial cybersecurity, we have product offerings across your nodes which are running in your OT environment. And the biggest challenge is this OT environment, the environment is basically containing legacy devices. So you need optimized solutions which can work very seamlessly with it, and it won't hamper the production environment. And that is how our product has been designed. So you can protect your nodes, your SCADA, your HMI servers. The Kaspersky for network actually is basically giving you, information about the anomaly and the breaches which are happening in your OT environment. It can be managed from a central node, which is Kaspersky Security Center. We also have a dedicated team who is working on the threat intelligence, which is there specially designed for industrial environment. So we can provide you threat intelligence feed for industrial cybersecurity. We can also provide you security assessment services for industrial cybersecurity, as well as training. So Kaspersky has achieved SOC 2 Type 1 certification, and this is from one of the big 4 auditor. So our solution is totally foolproof, and it cannot be basically be damaged by any unauthorized changes. So just my last slide of my presentation. This Kaspersky, as a global cybersecurity vendor, is the only vendor in the world who has taken this initiative of opening up global transparency centers across the globe. Now, this is to prove our transparency and trust within our products. Now, what do you mean by global transparency center? It means it is a facility where our trusted partners, our customers, even government officials can visit, look at our security code, the practices which are used to detect threats, both business and technical processes. And as a global transparency initiative, we have also shifted our data processing and storage to Switzerland, because Switzerland offers better data regulations and highest neutrality. So Kaspersky is a global company. We are headquartered in Moscow. We are a Russian company. About 1/3 of our employees are into R&D. We detect about 360,000 new malicious files every day. And we have 40+ world research, security research working with us. So we have a strong and long reputation in detecting sophisticated threat. And we are honored and proud of our technical and research team who are working across the globe, providing unparalleled depth of analysis and understanding of all kinds of threats. So thank you very much for your time.